Welcome to our virtual open day here at AIT, and today we are here to have a chat about all things Technological University. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Niall Seery, the Director of the TU Consortium project. Niall, you're very welcome to today's chat.
Thanks very much, Dan.
No problem at all, Niall. So firstly, I suppose to go back to what this actually means for AIT and what this means for students, prospective students that are watching this today. What does this mean for students that will enter the brand new TU in September 2021?
Yeah, I think the first thing is that the Technological University is recognition for the excellent education provision that already exists in both Athlone Institute of Technology and Limerick Institute of Technology. And coming together, what it actually means is that you strengthen the capacity to develop programs and provision at all levels, from apprenticeship education right through to doctoral education. But particularly for students who are applying through the CEO this year for intake in 2021, September 2021, those students will enter a new technological university. That's the plan as it stands today. And it means then that they will graduate with a university degree, a technological university degree. And what technological universities really mean is that they have a mission of applied education, of employment readiness, of education that is both skilled technically and professionally. And that means that they will engage with practices during the course of their studies in the new technological university that will be industry focused, industry ready, and engage in things like work placement and exchange programs with industry and academia, which means that our graduates will be highly sought after within the region and beyond, both nationally and internationally.
Okay. So students that put down AIT on their CEO form this year and into next term will end up in the new TU, will be entering into the new TU in September 2021.
Yeah, so the plan is that we will open the doors of the new Technological University on the 1st of September 2021. And obviously there are some processes that need to go through in terms of designation of that new entity between now and then. But our plan is that we will open the doors on the 1st of September 2021. And what that means is that any student that enters will ultimately graduate from that new Technological University. In terms of the mechanism for entering that university at the moment, you would still apply to Limerick Institute of Technology and Athlone Institute of Technology because they're the existing institutes currently. And in the future, that will merge into the new Technological University, and that's what will appear on CEO. But for the moment, by applying to Athlone Institute of Technology or Limerick, you're actually applying to the future university that will be established next September.
Okay, so the important point from that is that there's no change to the CEO process, the application process. You're still applying to AIT, you're still applying to our partners in LIT. It'll just be a merger once September 2021 comes. There'll be a brand new TU, and it will change in that sense. Perfect. So will the new TU affect which campus the students will study on?
Yeah, so interestingly, even referring to it as a merger, technically, that's what it is. It's a merger of two institutions. But actually, it's beyond that. It's the creation of a brand new technological university. So it will be a new entity, and it will have a new mission and a new vision and a new set of provisions in essence, and then new qualifications associated with that, which means that people will get a parchment that will state a university degree in it. But for the moment, it will mean that you will apply through the CEO and study at the campuses where the programs currently exist. So if you want to study, for example, a program in AIT that's currently on the CEO in the AIT, you will study in the Athlone campus for that program.
Okay. Can you talk us through the advantages of Technological University when it comes to industry and careers?
Yeah, wow. I think probably the first thing to acknowledge is that both ourselves and our partners in Limerick have got very strong reputations for industry partnership already in our degrees, and we've got very strong statistics around employability of our graduates, and our graduates are highly sought after because of the applied nature of their education. So building on that, the new university will just move that a step further in terms of advanced and future skills. So as a university, we will become more research orientated, which means that the provision that we provide at undergraduate level will remain industry focused, but will also drive the industry agendas in terms of future agendas. So things like the future of pharmaceuticals, the future of the applied sciences, the futures of engineering and informatics, and information technologies, they will all be driven by the fact that we're now a bigger institution. We have pooled our expertise, so we've now got the new university will have a staff of over 1,200 people initially. We will have a student population of about 15,000 students, and we'll have about 300 international and national partners in how we provide education. So all of these things will come together to really make our graduates employable. But also future-proofing in terms of how we position our education going forward. And that's going to be a real strength of the new university.
Okay. And in your opinion, what is the most exciting thing about AIT's journey to TU and the transition into Technology University?
Yeah, well, we have a regional remit, obviously, and our first goal is to maintain a regional focus and support regional development. But ultimately, our graduates will have an international profile and an internationally recognized award, because holding a technological university degree is understood in practically every country in the world. So people understand what that means. It's an applied, professionally orientated, technically orientated and relevant qualification to hold. And that in itself is exciting. But what's really exciting about that is the local aspect, the regional aspect, which means that we're now going to make university education accessible to a whole section of the country where people would historically have to move out of the region to have a university education. And the risk for that is that you move out and some young people don't come back. They end up working and living outside of the region that they grew up on and the region that they love, which means that the university will have a real role in developing industry, developing jobs for the future, developing a community in the Midlands and the Midwest where people can sustain very, very good jobs, a good standard of living, and do it in the community that they want to do it in. And that, to me, is the most exciting part of any university education, that you can do it in the region where you serve the people that are in the region, that want to stay in the region. And you do that by making sure the region is successful. And that's one of our big ambitions. And it's an exciting, transformative project to see that now there will be university access to a significant proportion of the country that we serve. And that's a real positive for us. Absolutely.
And to wrap up, why should a student consider studying at Ireland's newest technological university?
Yeah, I think if you just look at the portfolio of provision that we have provision from, say, apprenticeship education, including new apprenticeships, which are all about earning and learning at the same time. That's a real strong model for how education will develop over the years. If you look at our undergraduate provision, which typically a majority of CEO applicants will look at degrees and higher education qualifications. The breadth that we have now in the new university is quite impressive. We've got very strong business, hospitality, informatics, IT, a lot of gaming, VR, a lot of future type programs. We're very strong in the sciences, we're very strong in the social sciences, very strong in the design. These are all areas now that when we have come together, collectively we're even stronger. And the portfolio of provision, so the portfolio of courses that we have in the new university is very comprehensive. So I think to think about the offerings within the new technological university and couple that with the fact that we're job ready, we're technically skilled, we're future-proofing, and we're related to what's happening in the industries in our regions, means that thinking about studying in a technological university is there's a lot of merit in it, and it's a really positive discussion to be having and thinking about coming to study through technological education provision.
Absolutely. So exciting times ahead over the next 12 months or so. And in terms of your own role in the project, I presume you're very busy these days?
Yeah, we're kept busy. Obviously, the stage that we're at now is that we're submission ready. So we have the submission to go to the Minister in the next number of weeks. And the process then is that we will meet an international panel and hopefully be designated early in the new year by the Minister based on the international panel's recommendation. And I think what's probably worth mentioning as well is that that's our technological university agenda, but we've already been designated within the European University Alliances. So we have partners in another 8 partners as part of a European network, where we're looking at things like exchanges, mobilities, so that our students can study abroad if they choose to in some of our partner institutions, and they include Finland, Portugal, the Netherlands, Austria and Hungary, where we've got like-minded institutes of applied technology or applied science that we have now already partnered with. So that's keeping us busy as well. It's another layer onto the Technological University project, but it's another really powerful way of supporting staff and student mobility, but also bringing expertise to help provide better education activities and provision for our students. So both of those things are really positive, and yes, absolutely keeping us all very busy.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to mark as well that we're in our 50th year here of AIT. We've had a very strong impact both regionally and nationally. I suppose it's important as well to reiterate the impact that AIT has had on the Midlands, and this is the next step forward for higher education within the Midlands region.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that universities bring is opportunities for students to go beyond undergraduate. And I know this Open Day is focused predominantly on the CEO process and the undergraduate provision. But it's often useful to think about what happens next and what the new university will do for us. Because it's more research orientated, there will be more research programs at postgraduate level, much more postgraduate master's offerings, for example, and doctorate offerings. You know, and oftentimes people are thinking about, you know, when I engage with a technological university and I study at undergraduate level, oftentimes they might be thinking about postgraduate studies or master's studies or PhDs, but it's great to know that you can go back to your own institution and study in an environment that you're familiar with and can provide the same level of education compared to every other higher education institution in the state. So it's something to think about as well in terms of our research orientated.
Certainly, we look forward to the new TU in September 2021. We thank you for the opportunity to chat today about this exciting new technological university for the Midlands region with our partners, of course, in LIT. Dr. Niall Seery, thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.